to be compelled to include the transmission, even though there's still some clause. How did you receive this entire, I don't want to call it madness, but how did you receive the entire situation?
For me, knowing the kind of National Assembly that we have today in Nigeria in the last 2 years, I was not surprised. I was not expecting anything less than that. But beyond that, it shows how rotten our National Assembly, how they are now compared to what we used to have before now. We now have people who don't care about the people. I was actually out of the country when this was all going on, but I was following it up online. When the National Assembly said that they were acting based on the representation of their constituents, the Senate, the senatorial zone and all that, it's very funny. You ask, why we are there elected to be in the Senate? They are supposed to serve as the voice of the people, voice of the common constituents of their constituencies. But they are acting based on their personal interests and the interests of their political parties. And it also shows that we don't have a vibrant opposition in the National Assembly.
Okay, I will pause you on that, Dr. Ugochukwu. We do have a video where some senators at the National Assembly were talking about in their quest to speak on why they don't want the electronic voting, electronic transmission. Let's have that video to get a clear perspective where the senators, they spoke on electronic voting. We have the likes of Uzokalu, who talked about how there are no. Okay, right, you're already laughing. We don't even have the video. You're ready. Okay, no, not this one, not this one. Where the senators, speaking about the electronic voting, I would
like to hear that footage of that.
Yes.
With on ahead.
Yes, this one. All right, let's have it. Let's have it.
And I vote yes to Nigeria, yes to electronic voting. I hereby vote no.
Mr. President, I stand on the side of the people, of Nigerians. I vote yes.
In support of electronic transmission of results, I vote no.
I stand for the Commission may transmit results of election by electronic means.
I support the transfer of results through electronic process by INEC.
I stand to say yes for electronic transmission of election results.
Mr. President, I vote no.
Mr. President, I vote yes.
Okay, thank you.
To electronic transmission of results.
I vote capital no on the electronic transmission of voting.
Mr. President and my dear colleagues, I vote yes to electronic transfer of results and electronic voting. And
on behalf of the very rural and network deprived people of Niger North, I say a very big and capital underline no.
What we have passed, and I can recollect this vividly, because I read that act when it was a bill several times.
Okay. What do you have to say?
It's appalling. The thing is that they are all saying personal issues for their personal interests. For instance, one of the senators said, because in his village there is no network. I don't want to call his name here because I've been in his village, I've been in his house, I've been with him.
Oh wow, okay.
So, and I know that there is network in his village. So today,
why don't you give us a name?
In today's age, yes, Dr. Uzokalu cannot say there is no network in his village. There is network almost, let's say 90% of every part of Nigeria right now. And beyond that, ADEC has a whole lot of money to acquire the latest technologies in terms of network. Starlink is available for everybody to use Starlink and get network wherever you want. So it's not beyond the budget of INEC. So the National Assembly is acting based on their personal interests. First of all, most of them have not performed very well in their various senatorial zone, and they know without, if election goes free and fair, transmitted without them uttering it, they will lose the senatorial, they will lose their seat. Many of them will lose their seat.
I'm a bit concerned, but why should you be concerned about losing your seat when half of the House is in the APC right now?
One of the things they also feel, not only that half of the House is in, more than half of the House is APC, and not only that they are afraid. They don't know that beyond that their 4 years, they can only be there for 4 or 8 years. Other people will come. So whatever thing you're doing, you're doing it for the future of the country, not for your personal. You look at the future. I don't see why they are much afraid, because they keep saying they have done very well. They can beat their chest every day. They have done well. If you have done very well, why are you afraid of transmission of electronic the votes electronically?
Let's talk about
this shows transparency.
I think that we've been beating around the bush. Let's look at the elephant in the room. Do you think that all of this is happening because there's an interest they want to protect? Talking about the interest at the top.
Yes, it all goes from in this country. We know the slang that say from top to bottom. Yes, it's all coming from the up to the, because they are from their parties. They are going to benefit from all. Not only the National Assembly are going to benefit from that. From the presidency to the governors and the House of Assembly members, and even the House of Assembly members at the states. If you go to the state and start to introduce this, give it like a vote at the state House of Assemblies, you'll be surprised that most of them will stand against electronic transmission of results.
And why is that?
Because they know if it is transparent, that the people of Nigeria will not vote most of them back. And that is why they don't want it to be transmitted. If it is transmitted in real time, I'll be standing here knowing that this person is already failing an election. You can see the result real time. So there won't be opportunity for you to move from the polling unit using the agents to manipulate the result. Like when you see in some result sheet, like you see it's 84 will turn to 840. 99 will turn to 999. Or you see them cancel 9, turn 9 to 8.
I mean, we had some of those results
are manipulated results.
Exactly.
You see all of them. So those things are not done, even most time at the polling. It is done immediately when they leave the polling, go to the collection center.
Like what was seen on the screen.
Which is the reward collection centers.
Exactly.
At the like as you can see on the screen. This thing happens at the work collection centers. Most time from the work collections that it gets to local government, where you now have the spreadsheet where the whole entire result comes. But when you do electronic transmission from the polling unit to the real time, you actually know that this, you can't manipulate it unless if you have to hack into the INEC system, and that's another challenge. So they know if that is done, most of them will not return back. And I give it to the National Assembly. I want to bear with the National Assembly today. If they say they know they have done very well for the people of Nigeria, they should pass the bill for electronic transmission of result. And if you know you have done well, let's see how many of them will return.
Okay, so I mean, several times from the beginning when we started talking, you talked about how this is the worst National Assembly. This is the worst, the 10th house.
They are the worst 10th house.
And I think this is not the first time we're hearing that. And so in view of that, we actually have a video where the Senate President was trying his best to speak to that. All right, let's watch that video where the Senate President was talking about, you know, the various views of Nigeria, saying that the House is the worst in history. Let's have it.
Institutions. Democracy breathes through such interrogation. But I don't think citizens are free to abuse the legislature. I give you an example. There is a man who heads one NGO, or a CSO. He was on television the other day. He was abusing the current Nigerian Senate that he makes money from. And he said that the Senate is the worst since the world was founded. And he's judging us by something that is incoherent. Electoral Act amendment that is incompleted. We have not completed it, but they are already on television. You see all sort of panels. Because they don't understand lawmaking. They don't even know that even the one in the Senate is not completed until we look at the votes and proceedings. So, when we bring out the votes and proceedings, any senator has a right to rise up and say, on clause 3, this was what we agreed upon. And if those who are recording through the verbatim recorder disagree or agree, we amend it before we approve the votes and proceedings. That is the only time you can now talk about what the Senate has done or what the Senate has not done. But already people are on television abusing the Senate, talking about the Senate, even when what we did has not yet been approved by the same Senate. It's incomplete. Your Excellency, see how you are better than us. Once you decide, nobody will question and they will understand. But
how do you want to respond to that?
It's good that he has also identified that they are the worst Senate. Even though he did not, but at least he has heard it. He's aware. He knows the truth that this Senate has not been active like how the Senate should be. The Senate is romancing so much with the executive. A lot of things are going wrong and the Senate are not speaking. For instance, the budget of 2020-2025 have not been implemented to date. The National Assembly have not said anything to that. In the last 8 years, in the last 12 years of our democracy, we've not passed budget, we've not presented budget to the National Assembly in December. For the first time.
There was a budget sitting this week as well.
Yes, for the first time, that budget was presented in December, around 17th of December last year. And you ask yourself, why that? We have always presented our budgets in the last 12 years, September, latest October. Because you know when there's a proceeding and you have more friendly, a more active National Assembly. Beyond that presentation, the implementation, nothing has happened. And the Senate also accepted 2026 without even asking questions, fighting on the implementation of the budget of 2025. All this thing we are saying is not against to say it against the current government. It's for their betterment. If they implement what they have in the budget of 2025, Nigerians will be happy. And it will be a plus for their government. So when they see us talk about it and say, this is supposed to be done and you did not do it, it's not that the person is against their government, but it's trying to let them, to help them to do the right thing so that Nigerians will be happy. So this current National Assembly, even an ordinary layman on the streets, a wheelbarrow pusher in Nigeria knows that the National Assembly are not doing well. It's not the elites alone, it's not those politicians alone. Every Nigerian knows that the 10th Assembly has failed, and has failed in many areas. This electronic transmission again now is one of those areas that they have failed woefully, that people feel that we don't have a National Assembly that is active. You mustn't fight with the executive every time, but you must let the executive know the things, the right things that need to be done. And in that doing, you collaborate. You know, Akpabio will always say that they don't want to fight the executive, they want to rapport with the executive. It's good and it can be effective if you are also active. That if you know why you are a senator, why you are a senior president, sometimes you call the executive, no, we can't allow you to do this. And the executive will understand because you know that that's your right as a senator. But this one, if the executive say, let's go and do this, the executive don't even need to tell them. They will be unpleasant to executive. Why can't you do it this way? We are here, we are holding the National Assembly for you.
And sometimes you hear them singing on your mandate.
So you see, it is wrong for a senator singing on your mandate we stand in the National Assembly. Even if you are from different party, or party, there are all political parties are all members of the Senate. In a sane democracy, you give respect to the country or to other because of that. You don't just come on your mandate. Every senator is singing on your mandate to stand. So what are you expecting the executive to do? When the executive cannot be active, the essence of legislature, the judiciary, is to quicken the executive and make sure that the executive follow do the right thing. And so
the more they sit on this mandate, the mandate becomes weak and it's going to crack and it's probably going to break.
If you break, better for them.
But let's dive away from there, even though it's still all connected, because of course there was a presentation of budget. The INEC presented its budget, which of course is another controversial aspect. The Senate, the INEC rather, presented its budget to the committee, and part of the interesting things about it is the fact that it's almost $1 trillion. Right, this budget is almost $1 trillion, and most shockingly is the fact that 209 billion budgeted for election technology. So my question now is, what happened to the INEC BVAS machines and all the money spent on them in 2023?
INEC is a very big challenge for Nigerians. Not only in the electoral process, conducting election, monitoring election, or calling them, it's also in the aspect of their budgeting. In fact, INEC is where so many, the government people, is their, how will I put it, their cash back. Because you can't tell me every 4 years you will buy technology, you will buy computers, you will buy this tech, you introduce this technology, you buy this, you buy this. At the end of the day, next budget you put it again. Do they throw those things away? Which I know that. Watch out. If we are going to do this 2027 election, you're a press person, you monitor the election, you will see that the same ballot boxes that we used in 2019, the same ballot boxes that we're using in 2027. The same BVAS is what we use in 2020 is what we're going to. But in their budget, technology, they don't streamline it or itemize it one by one. They will say technology. Technology is very big. So you can say technology $1 billion. It is when you now come down and explain. Nigerians are not going to be there to monitor them and know what kind of technologies they are going to do. They can only the Senate will, the Senate will, what kind of, when you say you don't want to do transmission of results, last 2023 there was so much money budgeted for technology. If you check the budget of INEC, and at the end of the day, what happened? The IRF did not work. There was no live transmission of results. A lot of things failed. So today INEC is having a budget that is, if you put it in dollar, they're having about $645 million budget for 2027 election.
Which is worrisome, because I mean we have one of the most expensive elections.
Our election is most expensive and not the most transparent. When you put in money in something, you expected that you will get the best. But we put in the highest money and we get the worst of elections. Like for instance, 2023 election, 2018 all the elections that have been conducting in the recent time. You talk about the Edo election before the Anambra election. You see what happened? And you see how much that was budgeted in that election. Now, INEC is saying for operational personnel, 160 billion naira, for total about 1.1 trillion.
Well, the Senate is saying that INEC cannot conduct e-voting. Are they speaking from the point of the no reach, or from this point of inside information that we're probably not privy to?
For me, all these things INEC, National Assembly is deciding for INEC. If INEC is truly independent, and the National Assembly shouldn't be deciding most of these things for them.
Which now brings me to the question where I've been aching to ask you: is INEC truly independent?
For me, as a person, INEC is not independent. They are not. They're only answering Independent Electoral Commission. Look at you see, independent and National Electoral Commission, they are only answering it, but they are not independent. Because if they are independent, we shouldn't, National Assembly should intervene in their policies and plans and strategies to conduct a credible election for Nigerians. Because National Assembly members are interested party. Whether they're in PDP, they're in APC, they're in Labour Party, they're in ADC, they're all interested party to that election. So INEC should be the one, because they're the umpire, they should be the one to decide how they will conduct this election to give Nigerians a free and fair election that make Nigerians be happy. I cannot be participating in an election and I'm still deciding who. It is also wrong that we even allow the president to appoint who becomes the National Electoral Chairman, the INEC chairman, because the president is going to contest in that election. So if he's going to contest that election, and if his party is the one that nominated the INEC chairman, we're all human beings. What do you expect?
So which, I mean, when Joash Amupitan came on board, I was having a conversation with someone, and part of the things I was saying was the fact that I do not, from where I stand, I do not think that there is going to be a level of transparency. It's just like saying I gave you money to go to the market, and then you went to the market and you didn't buy anything for me.
Of course.
How's that going to work? So is there any part of our process where we can rearrange it to be like the INEC chairman could be gotten from an independent source, not necessarily the president, if we want to achieve the independence of the INEC?
For instance, who are the key stakeholders in an election? You talk about the political parties. They are the key stakeholders because they produce these politicians who are coming to participate. If we have about 18 political parties, plus the, I think 3 or 4 new registered now. These political parties are the key players in the election process. Nigerians are the ones that will choose from these 18 political parties who become their president, who become their senators, who become their governors. The parties should be allowed to nominate who becomes the INEC chairman. If the party comes together and say we want this person to be the INEC chairman, it makes it more transparent. Or if the National Assembly, who is now making laws for making policies for INEC, can make a policy, make a law that the president does not produce the INEC chairman, it can be an independent body through the political parties and all that to be able to choose who become the INEC chairman. Because, for instance, if a ruling party is one that nominated the INEC chairman, naturally they already up the game already above the other opposition political parties. And again, you come to the National Assembly that are making, like amendment of the Electoral Act and all that now. The majority is the ruling party. The ruling party produce also the INEC chairman. Do you expect? And 2, we don't have a strong system. If there is a strong system that the national chairman can come, he cannot alter anything, then you can say, at least we have gotten it can be transparent up to 60-70%. But as it is, it's difficult for you to see him perform transparently, giving us free and fair elections.
So what you're trying to say now, Dr. Ogochukwu, is that there is no magic that is going to happen if we are expecting a free and fair election. Or you're saying that Nigerians should not expect it, they should just take whatever they can get and follow up their numbers as much as possible?
In as much as, if we follow the track record of Professor Amupitan,
yeah,
we can say that there can be free and fair.
No,
before he joined the INEC.
Okay.
But now that he's in INEC, Now that he's in INEC, whenever look at Professor Mahmood, didn't he have a good record?
Are you not
First
saying that
class?
his hands has been sought by
First class.
accepting the...
You don't need to, I don't say, I'm not the one saying that.
No, I'm just asking a question.
I don't know, but I'm just telling you that Professor Mahmood, he was a big professor, wonderful professor, first class.
Until he was not.
He brought INEC. What happened? Amoputa has good record, track record, the lawyer Sunday, and now he's in INEC. Yes.
So what are you
We
saying?
expect a free and fair election from him.
Okay.
But the system that makes it easier for you to have that free and fair election is not available.
Okay. So what it therefore means is that Nigerians should keep their fingers crossed, expect the best, and
What Nigerians need to do is what Nigerians did by going to the National Assembly to protest for the amendment of the Act for the transmission of result is a good one, and I applaud all the people who took that step. And I'm happy that Mr. President was one of those who also took those steps in the past, and he knows that what they did was the right thing in any society that want to get it right, because our country is still a developing country. For us to get it right, we must always take these steps to make sure that the right things are done. It must be a peaceful protest in our demands. So it's important that the Nigerian people do that and continue to do that. When the National Assembly or the government go wrong, we must always put them to their toes and make sure that they do the right thing. They might not get it 100% right, but in that step, we can get it at least 60%.
Okay.
And we'll move on from there.
all right. So one thing Nigerians have to know is that we look forward to Monday, where the harmonization between the Senate and the Reps is going to take place, even though some have said they prefer that of the House of Reps. Now, the passage of the bill comes amid mounting pressure on the Senate to conclude work on the Electoral Act amendment to provide a clear legal framework for INEC to operate ahead of the forthcoming general elections of 2027. I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Okuchukwu Williams, for joining me to have this conversation this evening. I wish we had more time to look at a whole lot of things, but don't worry. I think this is the season of talking about electoral bills a whole lot, and so we'll still have more time to talk about this subsequently. Thank you so much for coming through. And that's the much we can take on the show.
It's always a pleasure.
Of course.
Being here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the much we can take on the show this beautiful evening. Last Watch comes to you every Friday, and of course a repeat on Sunday at 7 p.m. Don't forget, that's also going to be on YouTube, so you can always catch up with all your favorite episodes and of course all of our other programs. If you have questions, whatever it is you want to be a part of the show, you can definitely follow us on our social media platforms to have this conversation. My name is Cynthia Agbo. The news comes about 8 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. It's Rapid TV.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on StarTimes Channel 176, Nigecomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Ansel Lecky.
My name is Neil Bliss.
My name is Akava. Go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV.
I love Rapid TV.
Shout out
Rapid TV.
Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV.
This is Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Keep watching.
Keep it. Keep it down.
Leave it like that.
In a small village in South Africa in 1980, a boy was born who would one day inspire the world. His name was Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Raised in the village of Mbizo, Mandela came of age during a time of deep racial division. Apartheid, a system of brutal racial segregation, would come to define his country's politics and his life's mission. Mandela studied law and joined the African National Congress, fighting to dismantle apartheid through peaceful resistance and later through armed struggle when peace was met with violence. In 1964, Mandela was sentenced to life in prison. He would spend 27 years behind bars, most of them on Robben Island, becoming a global symbol of resistance and hope. The world rallied, from London to Lagos. The cry was the same: free Nelson Mandela. His imprisonment only amplified his voice. In 1990, Mandela walked free, unbroken in spirit. He called not for vengeance, but for reconciliation. In 1994, South Africa held its first democratic election. Millions voted. Nelson Mandela became the nation's first black president, ushering in a new era of unity and healing. Mandela's message was simple but powerful. It always seems impossible until it's done. His legacy? A testament to courage, forgiveness, and the unyielding power of hope. Today, Nelson Mandela's name lives on, not just in history books, but in the hearts of all who dream of a fairer world. His journey changed a nation and inspired generations.
Joseph. Name is Martha Alu.
My name is Victor Arke.
My name is Divine Alex.
My name is Esther Omen.
My name is Arthur James Brooks.
My name is Godwin Sunday.
I am Ijoma Victor.
My name is Cynthia Agbo.
Josephine Bichu.
I bet you already know that this is
Rapid Television.
Greatness is not faceless. Greatness has a face. It has many faces. It has over 200 million faces. It has your face. It has my face. Greatness is beyond what we do. It's how we do it. It is the people we do it for. It is never settling, continuously tinkering with an idea till answers to age-old questions emerge. It is our wittiness It is our speed. It's our energy. It's our heavy punches. It is making melodies from anything. It is in the endless poetry of Nigerian life. Joyful, frustrating, sad, exciting. It's the mix of colors, imitating the breathtaking tapestry of life. It's our defiance of fear and our almost defiant, nearly arrogant presence in the galleries of the distinguished. It is these everyday people creating timeless, priceless art, carving spectacle, crafting history. It is resilience woven into the fabric that we are made of and we wear. Etu, Ashoke, Akwete, Kura. Greatness, the Nigerian spirit. That thing about us that all recognize and still cannot find the right words to describe. Great is Nigerian. Greatness is when Tobi Amusho does the 100 meters hurdles in 12.12 seconds and a stunned world held its breath. Greatness is the chicken scratch guitar chords that bewitched the world. A new beat, Afrobeat, from Fela and now to Burna Boy, to Wizkid and Davido. It is the earthy Afro pop of Asha. It's the compelling, beguiling Nigerian R&B of Tiwa and Tenny, and the alternative sounds of Thames, Johnny Drill and Chike. Greatness is how our phenomenal artists are selling out arenas both home and abroad with tens of thousands of people showing up to experience the pulsations of this mysteriously sweet music. Greatness is Kunle Afolayan, Jadesola Oshiberu, Kemi Adetiba, Nazo Nuzo, hitting mind-boggling box office numbers, securing global film deals and rallying communities. Not so long ago, content was just television, and now digital content is the new oil, with our skit makers, content creators, thought leaders growing our digital economy. Greatness is Professors Kayode Oyewumi and Musa Yakubu, being listed among Elsevier BV's most productive scientists in the world. Greatness is Ethan Nwaneri at 15, becoming the world's youngest player in the English Premier League. Greatness is Abasi Eneobong, pioneering the inclusion of the African genome in research through 54 genes. And Aisha Tofa, building and nurturing a tech ecosystem through Startup Kano. Greatness is Amina Mohammed, championing the voice of global peace as we take a prominent place at the table. Greatness is Miracle Izuchukwu, becoming the youngest female commercial pilot in North America. Greatness is Faith Odunsi, calculating her way to become the global mathematics champion.
To express 0.00.
2.4 times 10 is by minus 5. Correct.
Greatness is the pantheon of Nigerian authors. Their stories, our stories, bringing the world into the magic, the pain, the triumphs of the Nigerian experience. Greatness is the unicorns. 6 companies created by Nigerians under 30 years old, now worth over $1 billion each. The stories, the people, Nigeria. Each of these stories of greatness across the globe has you in it, and it has me in it. And we can almost take them for granted. They are so Nigerian. Chimamanda talked about the danger of a single story, where negative stories are used to flatten an individual's experience and overlook the many other stories that formed them. We are our stories. We are not one story, and we must tell these stories to ourselves and to the world. Nigeria is not faceless. It's not an obscure concept or a dream hiding behind the waving of a green, white, green flag.
My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Atoleki.
My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. I go by the name Baba D. And you're tuned into Rapid TV.
And I love Rapid TV.
Shout out
Rapid TV.
Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV. This is Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Keep watching.
Keep it melted down.
Leave it like that.
Hello, good evening. Is timetable for 2027 general elections. Court sentences 4 to death over killing of Rivers DPO. Nigeria secures permanent seat on African Central Bank board. Kim Jong-un's 13-year-old daughter tipped as successor. Favor Ashe, others switch allegiance to Qatar. Details of this and more will come to you in the bulletin. Stay with us. Now the news in detail. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has formally commenced preparations for Nigeria's 2027 general elections with the release of its detailed timetable and schedule of activities. The Commission has fixed Saturday, February 20th, 2027 for the presidential and National Assembly elections, while governorship and state houses of assembly polls will hold on Saturday, March 6, 2027. The announcement was made at a news conference in Abuja. The report. With a deep sense of constitutional responsibility and commitment to democratic consolidation, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) formally releases the notice of election and the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general elections, a significant milestone in Nigeria's democratic journey. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amopitan exercised the powers conferred on the Commission by the Constitution to set in motion the election process for the 2027 general elections.
Therefore, in exercise of the powers conferred on the Commission by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, and the Electoral Act of 2022, and all other powers enabling it in that behalf, the Commission hereby sets in motion the electoral process for the 2027 general election and fixes the date of the 2027 general election as follows. 1. Presidential and National Assembly election will come on the 20th February 2027. 2. Governorship and state houses of assembly will be 6 March 2027. The detailed timetable and schedule of activities have been uploaded to the Commission's website this morning and circulated, or is about being circulated to registered political parties and relevant stakeholders. All the 36 resident electoral commissioners and that of the FCT are hereby directed to publish the notices in each constituency in respect of which an election is to be held.
The Commission reiterated its commitment as an independent electoral body to uphold the rule of law while urging stakeholders to prepare adequately for the elections.
It is imperative to note that while we are eager to adopt any amendments that may strengthen our electoral processes, we must also act in accordance with the existing provisions of the Electoral Acts. As an independent electoral body, we are committed to upholding the rule of law and ensuring that our actions are guided by established legal framework. The timely announcement of the election date is a critical step in this process, allowing our stakeholders, political parties, civil societies, organizations, the electorate to prepare adequately for the election. As we move forward, INEC remains dedicated to engaging with all the stakeholders to foster a transparent dialogue regarding the proposed amendments. We believe that the collaboration and open communications are essential in shaping an electoral system that serves the interests of all Nigerians.
Professor Amopitan called on the political parties to conduct peaceful and credible primaries, to shun violence and inflammatory rhetoric, and to uphold internal democracy. He urged the electorate to conduct themselves peacefully throughout the electoral cycle. Abuja, Godwin Amundi, Rapid Television News. Meanwhile, members of the Joint National Assembly Conference Committee are set to meet on Monday to begin harmonizing the Electoral Amendment Bill. The committee has been tasked with reconciling differences in the bill passed separately by the Senate and the House of Representatives, with a one-week deadline to resolve contentious provisions, notably those related to electronic transmission of election results. The harmonization exercise follows sharp disagreements over the scope and application of technology in result collation and transmission. The amendment process is unfolding against the backdrop of controversies that followed the 2023 general elections, particularly the failure of INEC to upload presidential election results to its result viewing portal in real time. The development has heightened public interest in the fate of the Electoral Amendment Bill amid renewed debate over electoral transparency and credibility in Nigeria's democratic process. The House of Representatives Committee on Infectious Diseases has vowed to ensure full implementation of the 2026 budget, promising better oversight and accountability compared to last year. Our correspondent Nathan Williams brings the details.
Honorable Oga gave the assurance of the 2025 budget performance appraisal and 2026 budget defense, with agencies noted that the past year has been a very difficult one and challenging for the country, with virtually 0% budget implementation.
As we witness virtually 0% budget implementation, it is our hope that this anomaly will be addressed going forward so that confidence can be restored in our government and our people will continue to reap the dividends of democracy, which is the reason why we are all aspired to represent our people.
Other lawmakers lend their voices by appealing to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to step up effort in delivering on his campaign promises. The lawmakers charged the renewed hope administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to redouble their effort and ensure steady economic growth and development for the nation.
The Constitution empowers that we oversight, in fact, empowers us with all appropriation, whether federal government funds from consolidated revenue or whether grants, anything as long as it is being appropriated for work by government entities, the parliament is supposed to do that. So you can understand why we're a little concerned about funds showing up on our position that we don't have oversight of. You know, when you talk about direct disbursements, that means that, you know, it wasn't subject to our own sovereign public procurement framework.
Nathan Williams, Rapid TV, Abuja.
Nigerians' capital inflows are showing strong growth, with total capital importation reaching about $21 billion in the first 10 months of 2025. That's a significant jump from $12 billion recorded in 2024, less than $4 billion in 2023. Industry, Trade and Investment Minister Dr. Jumoke Uduwole disclosed this while presenting her ministry's performance during the 2026 budget defense before the House of Representatives Committee on Commerce in Abuja. She attributed the rise to the renewed investor confidence and ongoing economic reforms. Again, our correspondent Nathan Williams reports.
The minister attributed the recovery of deliberate ministry intervention, including the creation of over $5 billion in bankable projects, the establishment of sector-specific deal rooms, and the hosting of Nigeria's inaugural Domestic Investors Summit. According to her, these initiatives re-engaged domestic capital, unlocked financing pipelines, and resolved about 50 long-standing investor bottlenecks, thereby accelerating the transition of projects from proposal stage to implementation. The minister disclosed that the ministry also undertook more than 100 bilateral investment engagement across key global markets, including including the United Arab Emirates, Brazil, Japan, and the United States and the United Kingdom.
Honorable members, in 2024, the Ministry's appropriation was 14.39 billion naira. Personnel and overheads allocations were fully utilized. Of the 8.36 billion naira capital allocation, 93.2% was released, which was fully utilized. Revenue performance exceeded target by approximately 153 million naira, with full remittance to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. In 2025, the Ministry's appropriation was 11.8 billion naira. Personnel and overhead allocations were again fully utilized. Of the 3.89 billion naira capital allocation, no amount had been released to date. Revenue performance exceeded target by approximately 100 million naira, with full remittance to the Consolidated Revenue Fund.
She added that sustained engagement under the Nigeria-UK Economic and Trade Partnership, which commenced in the second quarter of 2024, yielded tangible result, with UK investors accounting for approximately 65% of Nigeria's foreign capital inflows in 2025. Earlier, Chairman of the committee assured the Ministry of Legislative backing, but emphasized that the National Assembly would prioritize value for money and measurable economic impact over mere budget utilization.
Our priorities for these sessions are anchored on three pillars. Domestic production. We must move from being a nation of consumers to a powerhouse of producers. We will scrutinize how this budget supports local content and Made in Nigeria initiatives. SME empowerment. Small and medium enterprises are the heartbeat of our economy. This budget must prove it has the oxygen to keep that heart beating through accessible credit and reduce ease of doing business bottlenecks.
The chairman stressed that the committee would scrutinize how the 2026 budget strengthens local content, support Made in Nigeria initiatives, and empower small and medium enterprises through accessible credit, reduce regulatory bottlenecks, and improve ease of doing business. Nathan Williams, Rapid TV, Abuja.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee has recommended the exclusion of budgetary allocations to over 30 agencies in the 2026 budget. The agencies, including the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, Federal Housing Authority, and Standard Organization of Nigeria, have persistently failed to account for public funds and refused to comply with legislative oversight. The committee, chaired by Representative Bamidele Salam, made the recommendation after repeated invitations and directives to the affected agencies to respond to audit queries were ignored. The agencies failed to submit critical financial records and declined to address audit observations relating to non-compliance with financial regulations and serious weaknesses in internal control systems. The recommendation aims to restore fiscal discipline and strengthen transparency across federal institutions. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has reserved judgment in 9 appeals filed by rival factions of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, regarding the controversial National Convention held in Ibadan, Oyo State, in November last year. The appeals stem from separate decisions handed down by 2 Federal High Court judges in Abuja, with the convention producing Tanimo Turaki as national chairperson of the PDP, alongside other national officers. The appeal court heard arguments from lawyers on Thursday, with the appellants urging the court to allow the appeals and set aside the judgments invalidating the convention. However, lawyers to the respondents asked the court to dismiss the appeals and uphold the decisions of the Federal High Court. The 3-member panel reserved judgment and said a date to deliver the verdict will be communicated to the parties. The controversy surrounds the Ibadan Convention, which was held despite court orders blocking it, with INEC refusing to recognize the Turaki-led group, citing subsisting court orders and ongoing litigations. The federal government has launched Operation Savannah Shield, a renewed offensive against banditry and terrorism in Nigeria's north central region, following attacks that killed about 75 villagers in Kwara State. The operation involves deploying military personnel, police units, and National Forest Guards to reinforce security in vulnerable communities, backed by enhanced intelligence and gathering and rapid response protocols. The government says it is committed to protecting lives and property, particularly at-risk rural communities with heightened deployment on the way. Security has also been strengthened around places of worship, including increased presence around churches. The federal government has ordered the immediate withdrawal and redeployment of Nigerian police force officers previously assigned to VIP escort duties nationwide. The move aims to strengthen security and prioritize community policing, with officers being interrogated into frontline security structures in key states, including Kwara, Plateau, Benue, Kogi, Nasarawa, Niger, and the Federal Capital Territory. The decision follows a devastating terrorist attack in Kwara State that killed 75 villagers. Security has also been strengthened around places of worship, with increased presence around churches. President Bola Tinubu's administration says it remains committed to restoring peace and ensuring Nigerians can live and worship freely without fear, while it is open to strategic cooperation with partners, including the United States, including maintaining a Nigerian-led counter-terrorism strategy. A high court in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, has sentenced 4 persons to death by hanging for the killing of Bako Angbashim, former divisional police officer of Ahoda East Division. The convicts, Robinson Sunabari, Bright Okparao, Precious Ameze, and Loveday Jack, were found guilty of conspiracy, murder, membership of a secret cult group, and robbery. The court also sentenced Samuel Nwadima to 3 years imprisonment for conspiracy, while the third defendant was discharged and acquitted. Angbashim was killed in September 2023 when his team was ambushed. The Rivers State governor had placed a 100 million naira bounty on Gift Okpara, known as Tubaba, and members of his gang over the murder. The police commander announced the arrest of 2 suspected cultists, in connection with the killing in June 2025. The prosecution counsel commended the court for a thorough process, saying justice has been served for the gruesome murder of the police officer. At least 15 people have died and 49 others have been infected in the Lassa fever outbreak in Taraba State. The acting head of clinical services at the Federal Medical Center Jalingo, Dr. Suleiman Kerim, expressed concern over patients' late presentation to hospitals, which has contributed to the rising fatality rate. Currently, 45% are receiving treatment, while 20 others have recovered and been discharged. The outbreak is the most widespread Lassa fever incidence recorded in Taraba in the past 14 years. Health authorities are intensifying sensitization campaigns in affected communities, deploying rapid response teams and increasing surveillance to detect and isolate new cases. Residents are urged to maintain proper environmental sanitation, store food in rodent-proof containers, and avoid contact with rodents and their secretions to prevent the spread of the disease. Meanwhile, healthcare services at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Banawa, Kaduna State, have been severely disrupted as 128 psychiatric nurses commenced an indefinite strike over unresolved welfare and career progression concerns. The nurses, operating under the umbrella of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, say the industrial action became inevitable after more than 2 years of neglect by hospital management. The union says repeated attempts to engage management through formal correspondence yielded no results, with later seeking redress on pressing welfare and structural issues neither acknowledged nor acted upon. The strike has left wards critically understaffed, posing serious risks to patients' safety. The nurses are demanding placement on the approved consolidated health salary structure and resolution of inconsistencies in professional nomenclature and career progression pathways. The hospital management acknowledges the disruption and says the matter has been escalated to the Federal Ministry of Health for intervention. Valentine's Day is often painted as a celebration of love, filled with roses, romantic dinners, and heartfelt declarations. But for many, February 14th also comes with high expectations, social pressure, and mixed emotions. So, is it truly a meaningful celebration of connection, or has it become more about hype and obligation? Our correspondent Josephine Beatrice went out to find out what people really think about Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, originally linked to St. Valentine, remembered for acts of love and sacrifice, the day has evolved over time. It is associated with romance and big expectations. What began as a simple expression of affection is now seen by many as a highly commercialized celebration driven by the expensive gifts and social media expectations. Every February 14th, flowers are delivered, restaurants are fully booked, and social media is flooded with romantic posts. But beyond the roses and candlelight dinners, not everyone feels the same excitement. While some see it as a beautiful celebration of love, others believe Valentine's Day has become more about pressure than passion.
Yes, I do celebrate Valentine's Day. It's a day to be happy. I believe in it, so why shouldn't I celebrate?
Yes, I believe in Valentine. Valentine is a lover's day. Show love to your loved ones. At least those who care about you. It's not just about being immoral or committing all those kind of things. It's about love. So I celebrate.
No, I don't. I don't believe in Valentine. Because I don't think there should be a particular day where people should show love. I believe people should show love all the time. When you feel like it, when you're in the mood, it shouldn't be like it has to be on the particular day before you want to show love to your loved ones. So,
yes, I do. I believe that there has once been a day, and a friend who was St. Valentine, who showed a lot of love to his people and indeed his family, and that has come to stay. So that we humans must continually show love to one another.
And for people who get boyfriend, get couples, they get love partner to celebrate Valentine with her. So we will not get, we go celebrate with our friends and our family.
Yes, of course. I believe in Valentine. We celebrate Valentine because it's not just for couples. Valentine is a day of love where you share love to one another. According to St. Valentine, he was a person of love. He shares love to people. That's why we celebrate him.
Sometimes I believe in Valentine, but now I don't. I don't just know, because people think Valentine is about love. But to me, it's about showing yourself. I'll be showing your how am I going to put it? Your friends' love. It's not about real maybe boyfriend girlfriend love. It's about the love you show to your colleague.
For some, this pressure has led to what is often called Valentine blues, feelings of loneliness, comparison, or emotional strain. But others are choosing to redefine the day in their own way.
Valentine's is both meaningful and overrated. It's meaningful because for those that truly believe in it and see it as an avenue to spread love. But when it's overrated because there are a lot of people that make certain decisions that they should not make, take out the importance of spreading love and doing ulterior things, or doing things that they're not supposed to do. So yes, it is overrated, but very meaningful.
It's meaningful, but some people overrate it because the way they use it and the way they understand it. For me, it's meaningful.
I'm married, so I show love to my husband whenever I feel like it. I don't have to wait till February before I do that. So,
well, it's quite meaningful. It's a day to remember, so that lovers can come together, celebrate the day at least once in a year. You celebrate the day to show that, look, this is the day of love. So I celebrate it too.
I think it's meaningful in some ways, Sha.
It's not overrated at all. It's really meaningful in every aspect. It's not overrated.
Whether viewed as meaningful or overrated, Valentine's Day means different things to different people. For many, the key is managing expectations and focusing on genuine connection, not comparison. Josephine Bitrus, Rapid TV News, Abuja.
In a bid to bridge Nigerians' pension coverage gap, especially among informal sector workers, Awaba has launched its new agent app and taken its campaign directly to the streets. The initiative is designed to make retirement savings more accessible to artisans, traders, transport workers, and other self-employed Nigerians. A business team brings us the details.
Awaba, fully licensed by PENCOM and launched in Abuja, is taking pensions directly to Nigeria's informal sector. The initiative targets self-employed Nigerians, including artisans, traders, transport workers, and private security personnel, which is a group long identified as having the largest pension coverage gap in the country. Branded the Resilient Mandate, Awaba aims to simply pension access, cut through bureaucratic hurdles, and promote long-term financial security for all income levels. The company plans to onboard 5 million Nigerians through the newly launched Awaba Agent app, which allows users to open personal pensions accounts, make flexible contributions, access permitted withdrawals, and even create tax-free pension-linked savings accounts for children. To kick off the campaign, Awaba took the initiative to Banex Plaza, offering free NIN registration and medical checkups while onboarding new users to the pension app.
We are here to just reach out to Nigerians and to ensure that they are able to at least have something that they can secure their future.
So we are here to onboard them. We are taking the news of personal pension to them because majority of them are not aware what pension is all about.
This is like an educational drive to let people know that just because they are not in the 9 to 5 doesn't mean that they cannot have personal pensions.
Participants welcomed the move, noting its potential to enhance financial inclusion and resilience for workers in the informal sector.
It's very easy and okay. I like the process and I like what I'm doing with it.
With the rollout of the Awaba Agent app and on-the-ground campaigns, the company is charting a new course for Nigeria's pension system, putting retirement planning directly in the hands of everyday Nigerians, which is one community at a time. For Abuja, I am Divine Alex for Rapid TV News.
You're still watching Rapid Television News. We're going to a short break, and when we come back, the news continues shortly. Stay with us.
Correro, your front row seat to the most pressing issues from the corridors of power to the heart of our communities. We bring you unfiltered insight, fearless journalism, and the conversations that matter. And I invite you to this big conversation table as we analyze the top stories, ask the tough questions, and hold power to account. News that informs, analysis that empowers, debate that drives change. Correro, the big conversation, every weekday at 7 p.m. only on Rapid TV.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
Faith Dr. Joseph. Name is Martha Alu.
My name is Victor Arke.
My name is Divine Alex.
My name is Esther Omen.
My name is Arthur James Bruce.
My name is Godwin Sunday.
I am Ijoma Victor.
My name is Cynthia Agbo.
Josephine Bichu.
I bet you already know that this is
Rapid Television.
If you're just joining us, you're still watching Rapid Television News. Now let's move on to some business stories. Nigeria has secured a permanent seat on the board of the African Central Bank, a major strategic gain at the ongoing 39th African Union Summit. Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tuga confirmed this, highlighting it as a significant milestone for both Nigeria and the West African region. The move had faced initial opposition from some member states, making it a diplomatic breakthrough. The summit's theme is assuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems to achieve the goals of the Agenda 2063. Nigeria also recorded progress in elections to the Peace and Security Council, with Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone and Benin elected. Nigeria has, however, voiced reservations over Sudan's potential readmission into the continental body due to an unconstitutional change of government. Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in Addis Ababa to participate in high-level plenary sessions. Up next, more business reports coming your way.
Global markets are sending mixed signals as cryptocurrency volatility deepens. Fresh export opportunities emerge for Nigeria's livestock sector, and European equities react to renewed concerns over artificial intelligence stocks. Here are the details. Cryptocurrency investors have withdrawn 330,000 Ethereum tokens valued at roughly $660 million from centralized exchanges within 1 week ending February 11. According to on-chain data from Sentiment, exchange holdings fell by nearly 4%, indicating a shift toward private wallets and long-term storage, even as Ethereum trades below the key $2,000 support level. Despite the outflows, Ethereum remains under pressure. The token has dropped nearly 28% since late January, while spot ETFs recorded $129 million in net redemptions. Analysts say reduced exchange supply may tighten availability, but technical indicators still point to bearish momentum, with support levels extending toward $1,881 and lower. From digital assets to agricultural exports, where Nigeria's livestock may soon tap into new Middle Eastern markets, Nigeria could soon begin exporting livestock further to the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Livestock Development Minister Idi Maiha disclosed that off-takers from the three countries have initiated discussions to purchase Nigerian-grown grasses and hay in dollars, describing the move as a major untapped revenue stream. The minister also highlighted Nigeria's $1.5 billion annual dairy import bill, blaming low productivity and limited formalization of the livestock industry. He said government efforts now focus on boosting animal productivity, improving disease management, and linking producers to financing and international buyers to unlock sector-wide growth. Meanwhile, global investors are navigating cautious markets in Europe after another technology-driven sell-off on Wall Street. The European shares opened lower Friday, with the pan-European stocks 600 down 0.3% amid renewed artificial intelligence concerns. Germany's DAX and France's CAC 40 slipped, while London's FTSE 100 showed slight resilience. The downturn follows losses across major U.S. indexes, where tech-heavy stocks led declines. Investors are also monitoring U.S. inflation data alongside corporate earnings update in Europe. Metal markets were subdued after reports suggested potential U.S. tariff adjustments on steel and aluminium, adding another layer of uncertainty to already fragile global sentiment. And that wraps up today's business update, from crypto volatility and export prospects in agriculture to shifting global market trends. I am Divine Alex. Good evening. Now the Rapid TV News Hour continues. Please stay with us.
Let's move on to some global news. South Korea's National Intelligence Service has revealed that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has chosen his 13-year-old daughter, Kim Jo-il, as his successor, a move that could shape the future of the Kim dynasty. The assessment is based on Jo-il's growing presence at major state functions, including her visit to Beijing in September, her first known trip abroad. Jo-il has been photographed alongside her father at high-profile engagements, and South Korean lawmakers believe she has moved beyond training into formal designation as successor. The NIS will closely monitor whether she attends North Korea's upcoming Party Congress later this month. The possible designation of a female heir has raised questions given the country's traditionally patriarchal system, but analysts believe Kim intends to preserve the ruling dynasty. Let's now take you to the foreign scene for more global updates.
A warm welcome to Rapid International News. First to Ukraine, where Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia has yet to respond to a United States-backed proposal for a temporary truce on attacks targeting energy infrastructure. His comments come as both sides continue to exchange long-range drone and missile strikes, despite ongoing American-led peace efforts aimed at reducing hostilities. Recent trilateral talks involving the United States, Ukraine, and Russia in the United Arab Emirates were described as constructive by participants. However, no major breakthrough was reached and no agreement was secured on protecting critical energy facilities. The continued strike comes as the fourth anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine draws near, with diplomatic efforts yet to produce a lasting ceasefire. And now to Seoul, where South Korea's former Interior Minister Lee Sang-min has been sentenced to 7 years in prison for aiding former President Yoon Suk-yeol's brief declaration of martial law in 2024. The ruling comes just a week before a separate court decision on whether Yoon's action amount to rebellion, a charge that carries the possibility of death penalty. Lee was convicted of helping enforce the martial law order and relaying instructions to police and fire authorities, including directives to cut utilities to certain news organizations. He denied the allegations and rejected claims that he conspired in planning the declaration. However, the court ruled that witness testimony and other evidence showed he played a significant role, although he was cleared of lesser abuse of power charges due to insufficient proof. And now to Canada, where an 18-year-old has been identified as the suspect in a deadly shooting in British Columbia, Canada, that claimed 8 lives and left more than 24 people injured. Police confirmed that Jesse Van Rossella died at the scene from self-inflicted gunshot. The attack occurred at Tumble Ridge Secondary School, and 2 other victims, the suspect's mother, 39, and stepbrother, 11, were found dead at a nearby home. Authorities are still investigating the motive behind the attack.
Upon arrival, there was active gunfire, and as officers approached the school, rounds were fired in their direction. Officers entered the school to locate the threat. Within minutes, an individual confirmed to be the shooter was located deceased with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The suspect has been identified as 18-year-old Jesse Van Rooselaar, who is a resident of Tumbler Ridge.
This is a devastating and unimaginable tragedy. We can't imagine what the community is going through but I know it's causing us all to hug our kids a little bit tighter tonight.
Van Rossella was born male but identified as a woman. 2 firearms, a long gun and a modified handgun were recovered, although officials say the precise role of the weapons remains unclear. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney described the incident as an unheard-of cruelty, noting that several victims remain hospitalized and are fighting for their lives. Communities in Tombeau region across British Columbia have gathered to mourn, holding moments of silence and memorials for the victims. And that is it on international news. My name is Cynthia Agbo. Rapid TV News continues.
Up next is the entertainment segment.
From Nollywood reassurance to Afrobeat rivalry and a fair force of an American, fair face of in American. It's been a dramatic week in entertainment. Here are the stories making headlines. Actor Yul Edochie has dismissed viral reports claiming his father, Nollywood icon Peter Edochie, has died. Sharing a photo on Instagram, Yul described him as the Lion of Africa, urging fans to discard the false claims and insisting that the veteran remains alive. Meanwhile, Yul's elder brother Leo Edochie has refrained the rumors affirming their father is strong and well. The family's swift response appears aimed at shutting down fabricated reports and reassuring fans across Nigeria and beyond. From Nollywood resonance to Afrobeat rivalry, a fresh Big Three debate is treating controversies. Afrobeat star Wizkid reacted strongly after Tubaba ranked Burna Boy as African #1 artist globally during a recent interview discussing the Big Three: Wizkid, Davido, and Burna Boy. Tubaba comments ranging to long-running supremacy debate among fans. However, Wizkid fired back on Snapchat, calling the virtual singer an old man and urging him to focus on family matters before sharing music opinion. Wow! The exchange added another layer of tension to Nigeria's ever-competitive global music scene. And from Afrobeat drama to heated transatlantic shutdown, Cardi B is taking on U.S. authorities online. American rapper Cardi B has threatened barbers online with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security after criticizing immigration enforcement action during a concert in California. Her comments drew a sharp response from the DHS representative on social media. In response, Cardi B fired back, escalating the exchange into a broadened political debate online. The social media's clash has since gone viral, highlighting the growing interaction between celebrity voices and publicity controversies. And that's a wrap-up for today's entertainment, where rumors were slated, rivalries granted, and social media sparkled global headlines. I am Victoria Adek.
Now let's move on to some sports stories. The Niger Delta Games torch has arrived in Abia and Imo State ahead of the second edition of the game scheduled to hold in Benin, Edo State from February 20th to 27th. Abia State Governor Alex Otti has expressed confidence that his state's contingent will do better than their 7th position finish at the maiden edition of the games in Uyo last year. Otti received the torch and charged athletes to compete with courage and win fairly, commending the Niger Delta Development Commission and DDC for sponsoring the games. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma also received the torch of unity, commending the NDDC for the initiative, which he said would unite contingents across participating states and support the physical health of young people. Uzodinma charged Imo athletes to go for gold and make the state proud. The torch was led in Cross River on February 9th and has moved through Akwa Ibom and Abia before arriving in Imo and will proceed to Rivers State. Nigerian's Commodore Matseye Nesiema has been appointed as an international referee for the World Athletics Relays Gaborone 2026, making him the first Nigerian to be entrusted with a refereeing role at the prestigious competition. The appointment is a major boost to Nigerians' growing influence on global athletics administration, recognizing Nesiema's expertise and ability to uphold fairness, professionalism, and technical excellence. Nesiema, a former technical director of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, has built an impressive resume, officiating at numerous national and international championships, including the 2024 African Games in Accra, Ghana. He currently serves as chairman of the Nigerian Olympic Committee Technical and Development Commission and is a respected member of the Confederation of African Athletics Technical and Competitions Commission. His appointment marks a significant milestone for Nigerian athletics administration, signaling growing international recognition of Nigerian technical officials. United States-based sprinter Favour Ashe has joined a wave of Nigerian athletes dumping the country for greener pastures. Ashe, Nigeria's fastest sprinter in recent times, has moved to Qatar, citing an unfavorable athletics environment in Nigeria. He was embittered by his disqualification from the 100-meter final at the National Sports Festival in Abeokuta and is seeking better treatment and rewards for his efforts. Ashe is not alone, as another athlete, Sunday Akinton, has also switched allegiance to Qatar, which aims to build a formidable 4x100-meter relay team anchored by Nigerian sprinters. Several older-based athletes are said to be ready to jump ship, seeking better opportunities and compensation. Ashe criticized Nigerian sports administration, saying the country would soon face an exodus of athletes, and recalled the departure of Favour Ofili to Turkey last year, citing ill treatment by officials of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. And that's about the size of the news tonight. But before we go, a recap of our major stories. INEC releases timetable for 2027 general elections. Court sentences 4 to death over killing of Rivers DPO. Nigeria secures permanent seat on African Central Bank board. Kim Jong-un's 13-year-old daughter tipped as successor. And in sport, we told you that Favour Ashe orders switch allegiance to Qatar. Thanks very much for being part of the news tonight. I am Godwin Amundi. To have yourself a pleasant weekend. Good night.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on StarTimes Channel 176, Nightcomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language, from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Greatness is not faceless. Greatness has a face. It has many faces. It has over 200 million faces. It has your face. It has my face. Greatness is beyond what we do. It's how we do it. It is the people we do it for. It is never settling, continuously tinkering with an idea till answers to age-old questions emerge. It is our wittiness. It is our speed. It's our energy. It's our heavy punches. It is making melodies from anything. It is in the endless poetry of Nigerian life. Joyful, frustrating, sad, exciting. It's a mix of colors, imitating the breathtaking tapestry of life. It's our defiance of fear and our almost defiant, nearly arrogant presence in the galleries of the distinguished. It is these everyday people creating timeless, priceless art, carving spectacle, crafting history. It is resilience woven into the fabric that we are made of and we wear. Etu, Ashoke, Akwete, Kura. Greatness, the Nigerian spirit. That thing about us that all recognize and still cannot find the right words to describe. Great is Nigerian. Greatness is when Toby Amusho does the 100 meters hurdles in 12.12 seconds and a stunned world held its breath. Greatness is the chicken scratch guitar chords that bewitched the world. A new beat, Afrobeat, from Fela and now to Burna Boy, to Wizkid and Davido. It is the earthy Afro pop of Asha. It's the compelling, beguiling Nigerian R&B of Tiwa and Teni, and the alternative sounds of Thames,